Welcome to Dubstock Live, brought to you by Fit Aid. Kevon Looney drinks his Fit Aid, and it resulted in 21 boards tonight and the game-winning tip-in.
Yeah.
What I will never forget from this game is Looney's smile at the end and then being mobbed by his teammates. What did you think of that moment?
It's great because Looney is one of those guys that's, we all know what he does for the team. His teammates all know what he does for the team, but he doesn't get a lot of recognition.
Yeah.
And so in a moment like this where he hits the game-winning shot, a tip-in, and not just a game-winning shot, but a double overtime game-winning shot when everybody wanted the game to be over.
Over.
And so for Loon to come through and just battle inside there like he did and finally put this game away with that tip-in was one of those things that, if you're a Warriors fan, you got to really savor that moment.
Because previously, it was Looney and Draymond Green battling on the boards, giving their team more chances, and it was so frustrating when the guys would miss three-pointers. But Looney came through in the end. Basketball rewarded him, right? He said something funny post-game that he didn't know that he had that much time left on the clock. He knew he could maybe do the one tip-in, but then that second one, hey, great.
Just keep going until it goes in.
Yeah.
That's all that matters, man.
Amazing. I should have introduced Monte Poole off the top. I'm Kerith Burke. I'm excited to talk about this game.
Yeah.
The Warriors have won 5 straight games. They are 20-18 and 17-2 at home. I'm going to throw some more numbers at you.
Okay.
54. That's how many points Klay Thompson scored in this game. But also, I think you have to look at 46 minutes, 39 field goal attempts in this game, and he had 10 three-pointers as well. This is one of those games that he's going to feel in the body tomorrow.
Yeah, but 39 field goal attempts in this situation, that's a good percentage. He made 21. So,
it was an efficient night for that
you're
many.
shooting 55%, you take it, especially when Jordan was struggling with his shot. Jordan took, I think 31 shots?
32.
32 shots, and he missed 21 of those shots. So for Klay to come through as he did, they needed every single point that he gave them. He had 22 in the first half, 22 more in the second half, 8 in the first overtime when they really were reeling. And so for him to come through when they needed him, that big three he made late, I thought Klay tonight was the savior.
Yeah.
Because that third quarter breakdown on defense when Atlanta shot 75%. And so for Klay, for them to come back and off of that, they needed Klay to really kind of clean up some of the messes they had made, and he did.
He carried the team through a lot of the moments tonight.
Yes.
Many of the moments tonight. Afterward, he told Fitz and Buki, "My tank is on E." Totally understandable. And actually, Klay sat down at the podium a moment ago, and I do want to let you know, this is the type of person that Klay Thompson is, because on this amazing night for him, he made sure that his first comments were a shout-out to the Buffalo Bills player who went into cardiac arrest on the field, Hamlin. So just take a look at Klay Thompson tonight on a really special night for him.
Before I answer that question, I just wanted to send my condolences to Mr. Hamlin of the Buffalo Bills, his family, his teammates in the city of Buffalo. As athletes, sometimes the game can overshadow us as individuals or people, and just on behalf of the Warriors organization, we just wish him the best, keeping him in our prayers and hoping for the best possible outcome, and just a tremendous person, and it's bigger than sports. So, but to answer your question, it was a gritty win again. We've had what seems like a lot of these last week, and the offense was flowing in the first half, got a little stagnant there in the second half, but we just made gritty play after gritty play. DiVincenzo, Dante was clutch once again. Loon, Draymond quarterbacking everything. Jordan taking over in certain situations. So it was just another all-around effort from the whole squad.
I know 50 is a pretty huge mark for a scorer. Was there a moment you knew like 50 was on the table for you tonight?
Even when you have a big first half, you never go into the locker room thinking like, gosh, I'm going to try and get 40, I'm going to try and get 50. You kind of just try and let it happen naturally. I thought I did that tonight, and I thought I got great looks. I shot a good percentage from 2 and 3. I took a lot of shots, but luckily made more than 50% and came out with the win, which is most important. But, I don't go into halftime thinking I must get 50 tonight. I just go out there and play my game.
What does it mean to you individually? This is your first 50 since you came back, obviously.
It's a huge accomplishment for myself. Absolutely big. and just seeing Dominique Wilkins before the game and talking to him, telling him how much of an inspiration he was to me, coming back from Achilles to average, in the high 20s after a decade of playing, that inspired me to be myself. And 54 points is nothing to slouch at, even in a double OT win. Like, there were some hard days for me when I didn't know this would be possible, and to live it in real time, I'm just going to embrace the heck out of it.
Klay, you started the season didn't really play during training camp. You were on a minutes restriction. You're still resting in back-to-back games. I mean, just being able to play 46 minutes through a double overtime and play the way that you did, just from a conditioning level, one, how are you feeling? And two, again, kind of what does that mean to you to be able to do that?
Well, I feel great, and I would not have been able to do this a couple months ago. So this is a huge milestone for me, and to have energy on both sides of the ball. So just a big confidence booster individually for myself. And we're almost nearing the halfway point, and it feels great to feel like I'm getting better with every game. And I'll be more consistent as the season goes on, just from what you said, like not getting the live reps I probably needed. But now, after 30 games under my belt, I'm feeling just wonderful.
Klay, this 5-game win streak has been full of a lot of fight and grit at the end of games. How fitting is it that you guys win this one on a Kevon Looney 21st rebound, put back? And what does it say about Looney in general?
Man, he's just indispensable for us. Loon is incredible. His ability to be out there every night, his ability to read the offense, to protect the rim and rebound. 21 rebounds is nothing to. It's not hard. That's not easy to do. It's incredibly. That's like scoring 40 in an NBA game. So I'm just proud of the man for what he's fought through as well. He had some injuries like myself that might him feeling like a shell of himself, but now he's such a vital piece to what we do.
Klay, Kerr and Looney both said that it seemed to them the year compared to earlier in the year, say, pardon me, the year, I think they used the word term more relaxed. Do you feel that way? And if so, how have you got to that point from where you were?
I definitely am more relaxed than I was in the beginning. I think in the beginning I was just so eager to be back to those big nights like tonight and proving whoever wrong that I'm still great. And now I just it's going by so fast. We're almost at the halfway point, and after this year, there's only 1 year left on my deal. So it's like I just told myself, man, I got to enjoy every day in a Warriors uniform. This is such a incredible position to be in as defending champions, and to see the banners we've hung and just the brand that's been built here. I just had to remind myself daily, this is literally a dream I'm living, and what matters most is just having fun and playing hard. All the numbers, all the big nights will come as long as I do those two things.
At what point did you kind of have that talk with yourself?
Honestly, I had it a couple days ago. After I had it a month ago. I've had a lot of self-talk like that in the last few years, but it's incredibly helpful. It kind of just puts everything in perspective.
Couple questions, Klay. I know shooters don't love to talk about the technical stuff too much, but is your shot a little tightened up now than when it was earlier in the season?
I think so, and I think that's just a result of being in much better shape. When I'm not at the peak performing condition I need to be, I can drift. I can come. I was short a lot, and Ron Adams and I had a great conversation about just going straight up, straight down, and really getting that lift under my shot. So yeah, you could say that it's a little more sound than it was, say, a month or two ago.
And also on that shot at the end of overtime, the ISO was that. We talked a little bit about it, but what was on your mind there, and did you know and you were dribbling a ton to get to that shot?
Well, it's good seeing Justin, man. I play again. It's just crazy looking at Justin. Won a championship together, and we've been playing against each other since high school, and he gave me a little space, just enough I needed, and I just was trying to get a rhythm dribble. And when you're an offensive player, if someone's going to be in your chest, you go around them. And when they give you that space, you just try and get a rhythm dribble to rise up and knock it down, and luckily I did that.
It Listening to Klay Thompson, I think it's great that on a night where he had 54 points, a monster game, he wanted to take a moment to celebrate Kevon Looney. And we do need to correct something. The league has just changed Kevon Looney's total for rebounds from 21 to 20.
Oh, only 20.
Only 20. Can you believe it? But I thought that was a nice shout from Klay.
So the 20th rebound was the one that mattered the most
The game
because that
winner,
was the
sure.
tip in. Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay.
Okay.
Kevon loses a rebound, but he still has a game winner.
He's also a game winner.
But yeah, I think if you're Klay and what you've been through physically with the ACL and the Achilles, you probably have a greater appreciation for what Looney's fought through.
Yes.
He knows what it's like to be isolated from your team, forced into rehab, and then have these long recoveries where really you can't do a whole lot. It's just you and the person training you or someone from the staff working with you, and your teammates are out there playing basketball. And Looney has sat for long spells of time, too, because he had surgery on one hip, then he had surgery on the other hip, so he's been through all these things. And even now, he's playing through, neuropathy is not something that just goes away.
No, you need to manage your body.
Yes, he's playing through that now. And so it's every time he goes out there, it's like a triumph for people who are dealing with something like that because it's really difficult to operate in many lives just with neuropathy. So to see him do what he's able to do under those conditions, it's pretty amazing.
Kevon Looney has played every game this season. He played every game of the postseason last season. He played every game of the regular season last season. And I don't think the immense work that he's done in his body, this would not have been possible.
Maybe the Fit Aid helps,
Kevon Looney's Fit Aid.
This is
There
drink.
you go. Hey, I love a game where we have so many people to spotlight too. Draymond Green, okay, he in the second overtime hit his first three of the game. He had 13 rebounds, 11 assists, 2 steals, 3 blocks. I want to go back to that three-pointer because there have been times when people have just straight up laughed at Draymond trying to shoot a three. Remember there's that internet meme about him shooting when it looks like he's got a backpack on. He's got something to say with these three-pointers.
Well, it's funny how Draymond rarely misses the clutch three, and this was a clutch three. I mean, Warriors were up 2, and he made sure he got his legs into it. I watched it again. I was like, he made sure he got his legs into it. And it went in, and that shot gave him a 5-point lead, which felt gigantic at that time because everything was 1 and 2 and 3 points apart. They were up 5 then with 48 seconds left to go, something like that. So at that point, if you're a Warriors fan, you're feeling pretty good. Draymond just hit the 3, we're up 5. Let's close it out, which is what ended up happening.
To have your legs in double overtime, that is a big deal.
Yes.
Yes, and then you can do it. Put your back into it. That's different for Draymond, right? Because his back has been bothering him sometimes. All right, I also have to mention Dante. He hit the three-pointer that sent this thing to the first overtime with 0.6 left. Okay, he was 0 for 5 from 3 before that moment, and he stepped into that 3 and just knocked it down like it was nothing.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it before. A couple nights ago, he had a big 3 like that. So when Dante, I mean, it was funny because Jordan took the first 3, I think it was, and the ball came out. The Warriors had, finally, somebody got the ball and Dante had an open look. And here's a guy who played high-level basketball at Villanova, won championships at Villanova, hit big shots at Villanova, and came to the Bucks, won a championship there. So, it's an overtime game, it's a tight game, it's a big shot, and he doesn't really flinch.
No.
So the shot went down pure. It's one of those things, you take it and you walk away, and so he's one of several heroes of the night.
One of several heroes. It's fun to talk about him. All right, when we come back on Dubs Talk Live, brought to you by Kevon Looney's Fit Aid, the Warriors are doing this all shorthanded. They've won 5 straight games, but we need to talk about some of these injuries because we got some updates from Steve Kerr. So stick around for what's coming.
Dubs Talk Live is presented by Fit Aid, the #1 post-workout recovery drink in America. Try now and visit drinkfitaid.com.
To Khaled, to Shannon, to T. Jeezy, to Daniel, to Dennis, to Dee, to Shannon, to Otis, to Paolo, and Daniel is asking me, he says he's watching from Canada, did you ask Draymond the question, would you like to play a full season at home if it means you have to play a full season on the road? I have not had an opportunity yet. If Draymond spoke post-game, we had to come out here for the show. And then it's kind of one of those playful questions where I just need to pick my spot. It has to fit the moment. But I will tuck that away in the back of my head, although I have not asked him yet. Let's see. Yeah, Dee is saying prayers up for Hamlin. Indeed. That you know that the players are watching that pregame. They all have televisions at their locker spot. Lots of guys are watching footballs. There's friends with some of the football players.
Yep.
That just cast a shadow on the start of this night.
Well, I mean, you can't see that scene. I mean, if you see that scene and you feel nothing, then you need to have a talk with yourself.
Sure.
I mean, I'm watching that, and it really kind of got in my head because we didn't know. I mean, they couldn't revive him. It was 9 minutes on the court.
Yeah.
On the field.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
On the field, and they couldn't revive him, and they're doing CPR, and so the players. I think the NFL probably would have tried to play the game, but the players went through the players' union and association and said, players' association said, no, we're done. We're
When
not doing
you know
this.
that you watch somebody have CPR on the field, which means your teammate is teetering between life and death.
Yes.
How the NFL expected or tried to ask these players to get back on the field is atrocious.
Yeah, they gave him 5 minutes at first and said, and then
No.
eventually though, the coaches, well, the coach and the players. I think the players, where you got to the coaches, said, no, we're not doing this, and the coaches probably understood.
No,
So it's how do you watch that and go out and play? You don't.
I don't know. Hey everybody, welcome to Dubs Talk Live, brought to you by FitAid. So before this game, because the Warriors were so shorthanded, Steve Kerr just kind of went down the injury report and gave us a few updates. All right, let me collect my thoughts here.
Yes, take a deep breath.
Jonathan Kuminga is in a walking boot, guys. It's for his right foot. Steve Kerr said, we'll give you an update in a few days. So my interpretation of that is that JK will probably miss the next game. Okay, James Wiseman, ankle injury. Steve Kerr already says he will miss Wednesday's game. J. Michael Green still has that infection in his lower leg. Andrew Wiggins is still dealing with an illness. So I believe he's missed 14 games now. First it was the groin injury, and now this non-COVID illness.
Tomorrow will be exactly a month since he played. Yes.
Okay, and then Steph, regarding his shoulder, we should get an update on about January 7th regarding that injury. Finally, some news on Andre Iguodala.
Yeah,
Okay,
a little bit of news.
Shocking.
A little bit of news.
He scrimmaged today
With the G League.
With the G League. So the G League players, I actually heard that they were at Chase Center doing some work. So for Andre to scrimmage is a very good sign. That's usually the last step before a player returns to play. It means he's cleared for contact if he's scrimmaging. And actually, I was thinking back to something that Andre said on his Point Forward podcast. He's like, I will play. And he seemed to indicate that I'll just drop in on one game. So the way that things are going right now, I was thinking, I don't know if we're going to see Andre until the All-Star break, but I think and I hope I'm wrong. It sounds like it's a little sooner than we might have expected.
But you know how Andre is. I mean, he's slick like
come
that,
on, he's
man. Andre is slick
scrimmaging.
like that, and
Come on.
he might even be on the injury list that's out and decide to play. I mean,
Come on.
with him, you just don't know. But yeah, I mean, I would think that at some point, this month, halfway point comes up next week.
Literally, it comes up in the Suns game.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's 41. And I would think that at that point, maybe next week he might play. But
Yeah.
I would think he'll play always by mid of the month. And now this is the second, so he's got a week or two. I think we'll see him in the next 2 weeks.
Okay, I am totally projecting here, but if I were Andre, I would want to have my debut game be at home.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which would be, the Warriors have 3 more games left at home.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, it could be this weekend. It could be this weekend. But and when he is cleared to play in the game,
Yeah.
there will be a minutes restriction.
Absolutely.
He's not going out there and play in 35 minutes. He hasn't done that in a couple of years.
Yeah.
But he might play 6, 8, 10, 12 minutes. But you just got to get him out there to shake off some of the rust because he hasn't played in a while. And when you don't play for a while, especially when you get older, the rust comes pretty fast. And so I think for Andre, and he wouldn't want to be the guy who goes out there and plays when he can't play well. He wouldn't do that. He's not that guy. So
Yeah.
I would think that he'd play a few minutes here and there until he feels like he's got his rhythm there, and then he can maybe go up to like 15 minutes a game.
Yeah, nobody wants to be embarrassed. Not, Andre, at this point of his
No.
illustrious career, he doesn't want to go
He's
out
not
there and
doing
look
that.
too slow. No, because it is the kind of rust that requires an oil can, I think, for Andre. So somebody asked us if they could get a look at JK's boot. So he is in a walking boot, and I think the word was that his right foot, it's a sore right foot,
Yes.
and he was playing on it,
Sprained.
and it sprained. Thank you,
Yeah.
and then it got a little more sore than he thought after one game. So there it is, right there. It is encouraging that he was at the game. Just a shame that he can't play. So PBJ was called up. You know, there's a cause and effect to all of these things, and right now the Warriors are shorthanded.
Yeah, which makes what they're doing pretty special because you figure you're missing 2 All-Stars, and you struggle on the road, and you come home. This is the time for them to get some momentum, and they really need to get some momentum, and they're able to do it.
Yeah.
You know, 5 in a row. I mean, this one was really close. I mean, they had it in the first half. They kind of gave it back in the third quarter.
They're up by 21 points.
Yeah. You know, and I thought, okay, here we go again. Another fourth quarter comeback for the Warriors. Well, not quite,
Boy,
but, you know, they
boy.
managed to make it through.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think for them, what you're seeing is guys who weren't getting a lot of playing time earlier and guys who won't get a lot of playing time later if everybody's healthy are coming through. I mean, guys like Anthony Lamb tonight, what did he have?
17 off the bench.
Yeah, so,
Yeah,
you know,
that's
Anthony,
massive.
when the Warriors are fully healthy, Anthony Lamb ain't going to play very much, if at all.
Yeah.
But right now, they need what he can give them. It's great to see Dante coming through because they expected things from him, and he's delivering. And, you know, see him, he's hitting shots, he's getting rebounds, he's playing defense. He did a terrific job on Dame Lillard the other night against the Blazers. So it's just, I think that's what you look at and say, the young guys are growing, and the other guys are just kind of feeling their way through this, but they're able to do it and still win. When you can win while growing, that's huge.
Yeah, and also looking at the comments real quick, PG Works is asking what is up with Wiggins. So yeah, out for a month. It sounds like he was ready to come back from the groin injury, had some practices, was close, and then he got struck by this illness. Is that
Yes,
your read on
it's
it?
non-COVID illness, and we don't know what it is, but, you know, he's not well right now. But again, I mean, I was asked in the pregame show if I thought he'd play at some point during the homestand, and I do believe that he will play at some point during his homestand.
It's his bobblehead night for the next game. Shoot, we really
It'd be
hope
nice if he could play then, but I'm not looking for that one.
Yeah, okay. All right, guys, when we come back on Dubstock Live, brought to you by FitAid, let's look ahead. The schedule coming up, the Warriors have won 5 straight games, and we might need to talk quickly about Jordan Poole.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Dubs Talk Live is presented by FitAid, the #1 post-workout recovery drink in America. Try now and visit drinkfitaid.com.
Okay, and you would like Poole and the schedule? Is that correct? Okay. Okay. The perplexing ones?
Oh, boy. What are you
Yeah,
doing?
okay.
I'm like, I find myself saying it out loud as you do. I'm like, what are you doing?
What are you doing? We have somebody saying, I don't think the Dubs deserve to win.
The way they played the third quarter.
Hey, that third quarter, 42-25.
75% shooting.
Just the energy totally flipped.
When a team shoots 75% against you, you're not playing defense, or they are just like uncommonly hot. I mean,
Yeah.
and I think
the Hawks came in losers of 3 straight. They've had their own internal stuff going on.
they're
First
a mess
game of
right
a road
now.
Trip. Yeah.
But they got some energy in that third quarter, and the Warriors just didn't seem ready to handle it. And they were in a fight after that, and they found a way to win. But for a while there, we didn't know which way this was going to go.
Yeah. Man, oh man, oh man.
That would have been a horrible loss for the Warriors, too, because they had a 21-point lead at home.
And they fought so hard. After you're asking Klay Thompson and a bunch of other guys to play like more than 45 minutes and you can't get it done in the end, heartbreaker. I mean, that's how the Hawks have to feel about this.
Yeah.
The comeback that they launched and they just
Yep.
didn't get it. But yeah. Tyler's asking for an update on the Bills player. The Bills just announced recently that Hamlin went into cardiac arrest on the field. He's in the hospital, and the last thing that I read from the league and the team is that he's in critical condition.
Yes.
So-
Also did say that his vitals had improved, though.
That's Welcome back to Dubstock Live, brought to you by Fit Aid. All right, let's talk about Jordan Poole here, the second leading scorer for the Warriors with 28. 11 of 32, though, 2 of 12, and some perplexing moments in this one,
Yeah,
Monte.
I mean, generally speaking, when you're the point guard and you have a teammate that's hot, you try to get him the ball.
Pass
And
it to him.
in this case, it's Klay. I mean, and there were times when Klay was wide open, and Jordan just didn't seem to look for him, or didn't seem. Now here's a time where he looked for him, and then the pass is late.
Yeah.
So I think, and Steve Kerr addressed it after the game, saying that basically, this is going to be good experience for Jordan because he's feeling what it's like to be under the pressure that normally Steph is under. And he needs to learn these things as he goes along, and there's going to be some mistakes. So when Steve said there's another level that Jordan can reach, that's what he's saying. I mean, he had 6 more turnovers tonight. He had 7 last game. So he needs to sharpen his focus a little bit, cut back on some of the dribbling, because there were times tonight when, the shot clock is 24 seconds and he'll take half of it by dribbling the ball.
Yeah.
Now you're down to 12 and you got to find somebody,
Yeah.
And so that's the kind of thing that he has to learn how to play through and break out of that habit, because the Warriors don't play that way. They don't want a guy who dribbles for half the shot clock. He does it sometimes, and tonight he just made some bad decisions, I thought.
Yeah, there are some other things in a game other than scoring, but reviewing Jordan coming into the game, I think he was averaging 28.7 points in the 11 games that Steph has not played this season, and he was the leading scorer in 9 out of those 11 games. So we know Jordan's a scorer. We know he's looking for those big, splashy, showman-type shots, but it wasn't what the game needed tonight when you're playing next to a guy who has a really hot hand.
Yeah, when you're the point guard and you're not hot, and your shooting guard is hot, your first job is to get him the ball as often as you can until he cools off. And Klay never really cooled off. He was hot. I mean, he slowed a little bit. He was crazy hot early because first he's making everything. Yeah. But in the end, he still shot 54%. And Jordan shot like 30%. So, yeah, I just thought, again, there was some decision-making issues, some over-dribbling issues, and some cases where he tried to make something happen in the paint against guys who are good defenders when Klay is out there going,
Yeah,
that shouldn't happen when you have a guy, when that guy's hot.
Yeah.
If it's just a teammate in the corner waiting for the ball, that's one thing. But when that teammate is in the corner waiting for the ball and he's got 40 points.
Sure, and he's Klay Thompson, and he's 54 points.
You might think about, let's get the ball to Klay.
And his career high is 60.
Yeah.
So quickly, guys, the schedule coming up to wrap up this 8-game homestand, a game against the Pistons, the Magic, and the Suns. And the Suns will not have Devin Booker because he's out with a groin injury. So the Warriors have to be looking at this and how well they do at home and think, why don't we try to run the table?
These are all winnable games. The Suns are a mess right now. They lost again tonight. We know where they owe the Magic one because they lost in Orlando. Yeah. So that's one they should win. They should win all 3 of these games as they go on the road. The Pistons, they owe them too. So these are all games, very, very winnable games.
Okay, exciting to think about what could happen at Chase Center where the Warriors are 17-2. Thank you so much for tuning in to Dubstock Live, brought to you by Fit Aid. Hello, everybody. More Wiggins comments. There's something about which Warriors will likely be All-Stars this season. And guys, by the way, please, 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 the Warriors would love it if we remind you, make sure you get that voting in for the All-Star. Vernon is saying, please, when will Wiggins play? We cannot answer that question because we do not have it yet.
My best guess is he'll play at some point during this homestand. It might not be until next week, but they got 3 more games to play in the next 8 days. And I believe that things are trending toward him playing before they leave town for the next road trip.
Okay, I think that's definitely what the Warriors would prefer as well, to see if they can get him a game.
Can you imagine? What if you see Wiggins? What if you get Wiggins and Andre before the road trip? That's an emotional boost.
I feel like I need to make one of those stupid morning show bets. If that happens, I will eat my shoe. I'm not doing that, by the way. But I don't know if I see that, Monte.
No.
I would like it. I would love it.
I mean, that would be a huge emotional lift for this team, just to see those 2 guys on the court, no matter what else is going on.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, I would love to see it. I will not
be possible.
I will not be eating a shoe, just so you guys know. Thank you so much for tuning in. We always appreciate you, and we will see you again soon. Bye.